Welcome to the Side Talk number 6. Hopefully I got those numbers right. With your host, Captain Naga, or Ty, whatever you want to call me. Hey, man, welcome. Hopefully y'all having a wonderful morning, evening, night, midnight, special whatever time this is coming at you. Take this energy now. We all in the same boat. We can start the conversation. All right, guys, I'm going to kick this off by playing some music. It's early in the morning for my side on the West Coast at this point in location. So I'm gonna play some wake up stuff just to get us a little in the groove and let the room fill up. Start the beginnings. Sipping on some Buddha tea. Some elderberry to be specific. Elderberry. Elderberry is a cool herb if you're sick. If you get some medicine derived from elderberry, check it out. But this is some cool tea so far. It's like soft velvet on the outside and stuff. No, it's not sponsored by them. But I'm really hoping that this works. Some organic Buddha tea. Thank y'all for sharing the page. Thank y'all for watching the side talk. Thank y'all for showing all the love and appreciation that y'all been giving so far. I'm just letting the room fill up. Then whatever happens, happens. I'm gonna be here for like the next 60 minutes. If you ain't trying to be free for yourself, trust me, nobody else fighting for your freedom. Only you can fight to be free. Only thing other people can give you is advice. And most of the time it's not even good advice. And so go out, y'all, and try to do your own thing. And also, like I say during this live stream, the Side Top Podcast does not condone the use of illegal or illegal drugs. What you do with your body is what you do. I'm not influencing you and telling you to go do nothing. What we do on this channel is we go over psychedelic research, scientific research, and also I give my 2 cents worth of experience. This is for educational purposes. Hey man, I got some podcasts lining up. Like they already filmed, uploaded. I just got them on the schedule. Cause just time, we going hard. We gonna keep at it. I'ma keep at it. Whoever wants to be involved, come and tag along. About to get the show started pretty soon. There we go. All right. And that was a pretty cool song. And that was a old little B instrumental. Old little B instrumental. That was an Mohep. That was an Mohep sample in the background. Mohep. I always say Imhotep, or it's not even Imho, it's Imogen. Imogen. She's a real cool singer. But let's get into the story for the day. The story for the day, I got another video for y'all that we're gonna watch. I'm gonna just be stopping it, playing it, and letting it, and answering questions and answering my own questions I have about the video. But we're gonna really tie on what's going on in the field of psychedelic research when it comes to the field of addiction and depression, because that's what's going to hit home for a lot of people. Like, a lot of people are not prepared to meet aliens and stuff. Hey, what's going on, CJ? I was just say CJ. CG Kid, thanks for tuning in, man. That's pretty cool. That's cool. But yeah, when it comes to addiction and everything, not everybody is ready to just blast off into hyperspace and meet entities and be even open to that idea that this slither is not it. But on the lower dose scale, in clinical trials with psychotherapy, remember, I really do push for therapy alongside if you're going to use these psychedelic plant medicines. And these trials with New York University and the Compass now, that's now supplying people with, well, not supplying people, but supplying scientists with high-grade psilocybin for free or for a very low budget cost. It's a huge company. So that's a whole nother story about them being a huge company. But as if we can keep pushing for these studies to be done, we can really cure things on a I don't want to say low level basis, because this reality, it does matter. It does matter. But I was thinking about, like, yeah, traveling and stuff, but being able to deal with our depression and our life circumstances here, I believe in low doses with therapy, we can cure addiction and all these other amazing things. But I have a video for y'all that I wanted to show. We could tie on this. Let me turn down this music. And then hopefully it plays. Alright. Hold on, let me get this perfect. Pause that. Turn that up.
If only I'd asked for help earlier.
Enlarge that.
If I'd done this, if I'd done that. The guilt of, when someone's gone, there's something you can do. I think it's the deepest.
He's a psilocybin depression study participant.
After my mum died, I was falling into that space that's left by her. I didn't want to let go.
In states such as depression, you could characterize it as a kind of literal depression. Depression meaning a...
What was that? My bad. He said, I agree with psychotherapy and medical settings. Do you think some of the content out there that educates people on recreational use hinders that cause? Yeah, the only reason I would say that kind of hinders the cause, I'm gonna agree with you, is because it's the same thing how it happened with marijuana. I didn't really know the benefits of marijuana. I was just smoking. My girl cousin was just like, here, I was at her house, she's like, here, you want this? Like, yeah, oh, I feel good. Oh, people use this so that they can feel good? Because this life is messed up. I got a lot of messed up feelings. I just need to smoke. Like, that's how it started for me. So I do see it. But that's why I'm trying to push out this word through my kind of skin. Because the word, I don't know. A lot of educational people that might be talking about the real science and nitty gritty and things like that, a lot of younger people aren't going to listen to them. They're going to use too many big words. They're going to seem like they're talking down on them at some point and stuff like that. And then the kid is just going to block their ears like this and be like, where's the Molly? So I really do understand what that means. So I'm trying to get more young people, more people in general, to just start the conversation. Just start the conversation when it comes to these hospital studies. When it comes to these hospital studies and our own experiences, so that it cannot be looked at as just a drug. that just does one particular things. Because back, let's look at it back like in the 50s and stuff like that. Back in the 50s, everybody had these drugs, but nobody had any skills. Nobody had any real discipline. So everybody was just trying to flood the water supplies and throw it out of helicopters and stuff like that. It's like here for everybody, without the without just tying. If for y'all new to the channel, just tie is when you combine your mind with your heart, connect that circle, and let it keep spinning. Let whatever come out. But it's the combination of the mind and the heart, not just letting your heart just run rampant and things like that. But we have to realize who we are as well while we get through these things. That's true. That's true. I think some of them do it for views and don't get that vibe from how you share on video. It reminds me of Timothy Leary to an extent, and it scares me. It keeps disappearing. Y'all probably familiar with that. And I think it scares. Yeah, it does. It scares the decision makers because the first thing they think about in my mind is that, oh man, they ain't gonna want to fight our wars anymore. But past that, yeah, it does scare them because the military and the government and everything, we look at them as external, like NPCs just running the world, and NPCs are characters without like a soul, and they just like programmed in the game. But these are actual people. And they're making laws based off of what they wouldn't want their child to be doing. What they wouldn't want their mom, they don't want to see their mom strung out on drugs and everything like that. So I'm happy that these studies are actually coming out. And I'm happy that I'm able to share these actual like scientific studies, and that people like Michael Pollan that wrote that book, How to Change Your Mind, is coming out in the forefront. His book made the best time sellers list. It's because we all have, like I said, we all in this matrix is different configurations of humans. So different voices are able to penetrate us more than other people's voices. Like my voice to some people is probably like, oh my gosh, when is he gonna stop? And then other people's like, oh yeah, keep talking. So to each his own. So we just start the conversation, guys. Whoever out there watching us in the future, your voice matters. But this is good to be alive in 2018, as I like to say a lot.
So the depression in the earth, like a hole have hit.
We've got a group of disorders, depression and other mental disorders that cause.
I'm so used to playing a video, but now people are coming in. My week has been awesome. I've been going hard with filming these videos, trying to get them out, trying to work with the computer equipment that I had, the mouse space. Is things pop up, but I'm loving the challenge. They say like it doesn't feel like work when you liking what you do. Like that's what I like doing. I like waking up and things with my daughter and stuff. Just taking out my daughter to the park, making sure she get her education in. She's really a genius, man. She's really 4 years old, coloring and using different hues of color on like the same picture. It's awesome being a dad. It's awesome that I was able to come into this life and be like, I will be a dad. Even though in my ego mind it was like, I have a kid, what's going on in my life? Oh. But on the bigger picture, it's like I chose to do all of this. So it's all Gucci. I'm trying to come up with some funny skits and everything. I've been thinking of a lot of funny skits and children's book. I've been working on a children's book about a kid who like saves nature or goes out in nature or has all these different weird experiences. I really don't get too much away, but his name was Tessel Tulabe. And it's so weird. It's so weird though, because I will talk about one thing. He finds this rock, which is like a tesseract. Which was shaped like a tesseract, which is triangles shaped of I don't know, it's like a 3D prism, triangles put together, and he spins it, he goes to other dimensions and stuff like that. Finds out the monsters under his bed are not so scary after all. It's one of those kind of stories. But so far, this week has been awesome.
left by her. I didn't want to let go.
And 1 second, I actually have something to show y'all. I was working on this art piece. Let's see if I can get her cool with the light. Yeah, all right, bro, let's do that. Let's do that. Come up with some kind. Yeah, let's just chit chat. Whatever comes up, it just comes up. I'm down. Thanks for coming. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for stopping by. All right, guys. Wait, before I play this video again, a little bit more. I was painting this yesterday. This is exclusive for this shot. Like she appears. Let me see if I get like that. Oh yeah. The email is justtinow@gmail.com. Plain and simple. I don't got no ones or twos. I want to get that zoom in on the eye. So she sees you. How you doing? All right, I'm tripping. But it's the live stream. Anything is possible. But yeah, shoot me that email up. Shoot me that email. I'm always ready to work with somebody else. All right, let's get to this.
As depression, you could characterize it as a kind of literal depression. Depression meaning a sort of depression in the earth, you know, like a hole, a pit.
We've got a group of disorders, depression and other mental disorders that cause enormous disability, and we have treatments, but the treatments still aren't where we want them to be. But we are on the edge of a new era.
And then it buffers. And then it buffers. Alright, let's put the tea back. Replay this instrumental. Hey guys, see if you're just tuning in, I'm trying to get this documentary working without all the buffering and everything. But it's about psychedelic research, and they got some some patients that was there for some clinical trials at hospitals giving their stories on how they were depressed. All right, we back. I love that it drops you off right where you left off. This is the Side Talk live stream.
I was just falling into that space that's left by her. I didn't want to let go.
In states such as depression, you could characterize it as a kind of literal depression. Depression meaning a sort of depression in the earth, you know, like a hole, a pit.
We've got a group of disorders, depression and other mental disorders that cause enormous disability, depression and other mental disorders that cause enormous disability, and we have treatments, but the treatments still aren't where we want them to be.
No, and most of them are, most patients are treatment resistant. They're responding to nothing.
At the opportunities to put medications together with psychotherapies. We can combine those in some interesting new ways. And that really may be the way to optimize in some interesting new ways. And that really may be the way to optimize outcomes.
Yeah, we can.
What we see under psilocybin and magic mushrooms and psychedelics more generally is an ability to step out, to step back, like an astronaut who goes up into space, all of a sudden can see the whole of the earth and then thinks, why was I worrying about this or that? It allows the mind and the brain to operate really in a more expansive way.
During the psilocybin experience, I saw the grief as a kind of poison. I had a realization that I was using that to hang on to my mum, but that was poisoning me. After the experience, the psilocybin experience, I had a sense of optimism and space around me again. It has such a huge impact
we're trying to find out what's the biological basis of this experience, we're finding that really it's two things. It's the breaking down of a particular brain system or network that normally preserves and maintains our sense of self or ego. But what goes alongside the breakdown of that system is a new configuration, which could be characterized as a sort of unification in the brain to an extent. As systems and regions that are normally apart from each other, so separate, disconnected,
check out the
more connected.
What you've got to do is to forget.
On a lot of the Psy podcasts, I go over fMRI images. Like I show them on the screen and everything. I'll do it more often. I don't care. But they actually put the brains under. Dad. Good morning. But they actually put people that were undergoing a psychedelic experience under psilocybin mushrooms, and another study under LSD, and they saw how the brain was actually lighting up. Like they say, our brain keeps us in a mode of being able to react to things, like saying, oh yeah, somebody's there opening the door right now, oh wow, yeah, it's blue, or oh, I should do this, or oh, blah 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 blah. Like whatever it is that you think you're doing, that's just what you think you're doing here on Earth. But it's another, I don't know, I got off track. Don't take me too seriously.
Jumble that happened in the 1960s. This is a different drug, new drug, being used in a different way, different doses, different people, people with highly defined disease. And this is the great interest. This is the great challenge.
In terms of the data that we're seeing, the brain imaging data after a psychedelic experience.
Yeah, I'm wilding right now. Yeah, the fMRI images, they're on the Psy podcast. And you see how the brain during its default mode, and during the people that were given placebo, the people that are given placebo, their brain were only active in certain parts. But once they were given this plant medicine, the brain, the neurons and everything started lighting up. Parts of the brain that didn't usually communicate with each other were in fact communicating with each other. What I see this on the outside is like when people say, oh, he's a modern day Da Vinci. Like imagine how Leonardo da Vinci's brain was working. He was an artist, a painter, inventor, a scientist, and he was about his work ethic. So imagine, what was he on? It's the story I'm tying on in my head about how a lot of his life is unaccounted for, and he has this account of how he disappeared into this cave for an amount of weeks and then reemerge. So we know caves release, when you don't see, you're in darkness for days upon days. It's people that go out into these meditations, and they say that endogenous DMT is released in them, and they actually do have these wild experiences that people that have psychedelic experiences can say, oh yeah, that is very, very familiar, but it's just done by just going in a cave and in silent darkness for days upon days. I don't know, that all ties together real fast for us.
We're finding that the brain and the mind settles back into healthy configurations, that it reforms itself, and it seems to reform itself in a healthier way.
I think it's incumbent on everyone, the developer, the regulator, the public health doctors, to make sure that the best evidence is gathered for psilocybin so that a good assessment can be made.
So Psychedelic L,
it is a valuable
what's good?
medicines that we have today.
This is a scientific question. We need to be able to do the research to find out what works and what works for whom. But I think for the first time we can begin to see where we want to go. I've been in this field a long time, and long enough to get a bit cynical. In this area, I'm actually quite excited and enthusiastic to say that maybe there is an opportunity here to provide something of real value to patients who have real need.
Yes, real needs. Wait, let me read that for y'all. Say, we believe that this innovative approach to psilocybin therapy offers the potential to reduce human suffering and increase well-being. I know it's backwards. in a way like never before.
We need to learn more about how to use it in the
Compass.
most effective way.
Oh,
What are
she's
the
a co-founder.
therapeutic,
I was
approaches
talking about that in the
surrounding the
podcast
administration of
that I'm about to
psilocybin.
release pretty soon.
So ultimately, this could become an option for people.
We invite you to take the next step together, bringing the innovation of psilocybin therapy to patients,
I would have been like
clinicians, clinics, and society.
a kind of stick in the mud. But now I'm more like a reed. You know, there's a bit more bend in me.
Boosh, boom, shaka laka laka. And that was made by the website, well, not the website, they have a website, but the company Compass. I'm not gonna go too deep into it because I talk about it a lot in the podcast. I'm ready to break it.
You feel guilty and
Hey.
about what happened.
I'm still kind of on the underground where I'm at. It's a lot cheaper, but I understand what you mean. No, there's no shady people. Back in Philly, I'll tell a story. Back in Philly, I used to switch dealers. I would have like 7 dealers in a week, just trying to get a Nick bag or a Dom bag or something like that. Cause you're not buying. Two guys. But yeah, that document I forgot I was watching. Yeah, that documentary is made by Compass. In my life. I understand. I still got family back in Philly. And they all I be trying to tell them, come over here, come over to the west side. Come to the west side, it's legal. First of all, it's very legal. Let's play this back. But yeah, that documentary was made by Compass, which is a company that is investing a lot of money into psilocybin research. Actually, they have some. It's not on the ballot, but they're fighting for it to be on the ballot. They are, if I'm correct, they are fighting for it to be on the ballot in California, just like in Colorado. Colorado is trying to jump the gun before everybody else once again. Let me see. Causation in Kelly. Let's see what they got. It's first marijuana, now mushrooms. Yeah, they just fighting for it to be on the ballot. It's just another article. I thought they was gonna say something specific, but they just comparing it to marijuana and how it's gonna come. They don't got no real dates on this site. Oh, Oregon. This is a new one. This is a Sata exclusive. Say in Oregon, even though I'm reading their article. In Oregon, activists are proposing a measure for a 2020 ballot that would decriminalize psilocybin statewide for adults 21 and over who get approval from their doctors and agree to participate in a psilocybin service. What is a psilocybin? Oh, they about to say it right here. The psilocybin service would include a preparatory meeting with a therapist, 1 session of supervised mushroom use, and a follow-up visit. Patients will be under the care of state-certified psilocybin service facilitators. Yo, whoever wrote that was on some psilocybin. Psilocybin service facilitators. This sound like, imagine Terrence McKenna saying that. Psilocybin service facilitator. That's my man. But shout out to Oregon. We gotta look more into that on the podcast on how Oregon is about to trying to put on the ballot as well to legalize, not just decriminalize, legalize psilocybin. That's why this conversation stuff is important. And just time is important. And these hospital studies that's coming out are even more important. Yep. Last night, it's this big light that usually outside of my house, just so that people don't apartments, so people don't try to sleep on the side of the building. But it hasn't been on for like the past week. So at nighttime, it's just extremely dark. And the calmness that I feel from it is cool. It's cool. I did think my fan was a person at one point. It just went out the corner out the corner of my eye last night. And that's another story. This is an old Lil B instrumental. If you know about Lil B, called it's called I'm God by Clams Casino. We have psychedelic chemicals all throughout our body. The biggest one being dimethyltryptamine. Yeah, it's produced in the gut, liver, and in the brain. So think about when you breathe and you getting pumping it up, like pumping up that generator, and just like produce more. And but the thing about it, why a lot of people don't believe it, is because how you have to activate it. And by activated, I mean you have to put in work, just like on TV and stuff like that. Like you got to go through training and you got to be able to put yourself. You got to be able to want the goal with all your heart and not just. You got to believe it. You got to believe it. I remember my mom growing up saying that she just knew stuff about like magic in New Orleans and stuff, like the voodoo and stuff. But she would say, yeah, like they say, magic don't work on you unless you believe it. Like they can't cast a spell on you or something unless you believe it or something. Like once you start believing in stuff, that's when you start really activating things. Now, if you don't believe it, why your body think you're gonna need it? It's gonna think that this is it and that you comfortable all surviving and everything. But during these freak yeah, she's real cool. She had a lot of experiences. We're waking up together. I be sitting to her stuff. I'm like, look at this, watch this video. It's everybody do stuff on their own time. Though. What was? Hopefully this the right one. All right. Just needed to play this in the back. But yeah, let's keep on going. Yeah, everyone's just on universal time. Yeah, and I'm happy that I ran across plant medicines because I used to be in a rush for things. I used to be in a rush to push ideas and to push thoughts every day from quote sleepwalkers. They said I used to sleepwalk. And they said, yeah, you don't know then what it means to be awake. Awake in terms of waking up out of bed or like being terms woke. What exactly what you mean? Because to be, and I fight with that term woke a lot myself. Like if you mean woke, excuse me, that's why I got the tea. But I used to struggle with that term woke too in my own world. Because like, who are these people talking about they woke? Like, what do you mean you woke? Like, what am I asleep? Like, what does that really entitle? But in my world, just to like without any of my, I don't know. I try to remove as much bias as I can, as much as my own personal feelings about things when I tie on these things, on these kind of things. But like my turn, yeah, spiritually conscious awake. It all depends on if you want to talk about levels or if just being aware of something otherly, because I was aware of a lot of otherly things before psychedelics and things like that. I was aware of a lot of things before that. So yeah, that's why I'm like, it means so many. It can mean so many different things depending on what you try to make it mean in that moment. Like at one point, you can say, "Oh, somebody's woke because they're challenging their religion," or you can say, "Oh, somebody's woke because they're eating different foods," or "Oh, somebody's woke because they left their body and they saw they sleeping self sitting there while they was floating above themselves, astral projecting." It's just like it's so many terms of woke that can be implied in many in different situations that I really dig what you mean. That's why English, man, we gotta learn to communicate more in English. Communicate with pictures. That's why I love memes. Memes like it's an art. To me, memes are art. Because people get different messages from it. But it's one big thing. You said before that everyone's connected, even if you realize it or not. So I'm thinking the word awake is a lost word or a meaningless word. Yeah. I guess yeah, because it would cause more division. Calling some people woke and some people sleep. I believe it is things that happen in life and things like that. But everybody's at school, everybody learning the same material. I'm thinking about people that when you elementary school and things like that. Different all types of levels of consciousness in the school, but they all learning, they all trying to grasp the same material. It's just some people gotta take different ways and go about different things because of whatever reason. Karma or what that's just like I believe we still have an individual kind of thing. Like you're still you. You're always still you. And that's what people that even go into like these far out realms or high dose psychedelic trips say. Wait, I'm not getting copyrighted. They tried to play a related video of Kingdom Hearts song. But yeah, that's what happened. Sorry about that. I think I'm gonna leave that just like that. Hold on one second. But yeah, we're all connected. We're all in this world. At a place, sleepwalker. The word sleepwalker. I know. But I think that really comes out. Yeah, it is funny. That is funny. I was thinking of where this division comes from. Where does it really come from? I don't know. I think it really comes from fear of how we feel as though we used to be. But let alone we always did have a hint. People always have like people everyone has a sixth sense if you want to use that layman's term. I said layman's term. Everybody has a sixth sense. Everybody catches on to something at some point in time. Now, rather it's a clear message, rather it's a good message, or help them out or bad. Everybody like has something that says, "Hey, don't turn down that corner." Some people listen to that voice, and some people are too zamped out to even notice that voice. It's just another story. That opioid crisis is bringing us down. Well, that's why psychedelic research, man, is going to provide an awesome alternative to taking opioids. Guaranteed. Just time. Just time. Just time. Just time. It's gonna keep being the same instrumental playing back to back. Yeah, I don't really have another video. I've been working on Yeah, I've been working on the podcast, and I got a Time Now episode that's already uploaded. I'm just working on the thumbnail and everything. And I promised in that video that we was gonna watch this documentary, little short video by Compass that we watched now because it didn't work out. It didn't work out. But now everything is all good because everything always works out. In the other Just Time Now video, I was talking about water and emotions and how to be able to have control under panicky situations through practicing uses of meditation and things like that. I'm not going to give it away right now. Can I actually see with these? They say I always need a glass. Yo, one cool thing about psilocybin that was another cool fact. Psilocybin probably is going to in the future take away hearing aids, take away the use of hearing aids in older adults. My grandma, my nana, sweet old nana, was telling me how she had to pay, I think about $3,000 for her hearing aids that she just got. And Paul Stamos keeps saying it's this old guy that wanted him to share his story. And Paul Stamos is so passionate about his buddies that he had to share it. And what he was saying, how he always has to wear a hearing aid. Like it's an old guy that likes to sit in his rocking chair on the porch and things like that. But on the psilocybin, and it wasn't even that much experience, he was turned around, was like, what is that? And he said he was able to, it was just like, and it said it was ants walking across his porch, and he was able to hear their feet just tick-tacking. And this is a guy that always had to use a hearing aid. And this wasn't a sound that he was like, that people will put, that's not in the know, will put under the category of hallucination. But he was able to literally hone in on the tapping of the feet. So that's something that I believe is going to be in the future. Like our hearing is going to be so much more improved. What was that? Psilocybin really is magical. I can dig why they call it magic. Yeah, it's like literally, man, it really is a magical thing. That's why the people you see in it, like in that experience, are not your average Joes. They literally become magicians. I am a magician. I am a magician. I always wanted to be one. It was something I was going to mention. As usual, I always say. Hey man, you ever had a weird experience on a psychedelic, or I don't know, something that is life-changing? A life-changing realization? Or just a little realization? What's that button doing? Psilocybin feels like it brings you to the edge of reality, the edge of now. For me, I'm able to see my past and my future self, God's eye view, and from there I can make better decisions on my life. I really do agree with that. Because sometimes in the past I would be like, come on, pause. In the past and now I feel like I would just be, especially meditating, or I could just be walking. I'll be brought back to a place back in Philadelphia, me just standing randomly on a corner and I'm just looking around. And but I fully remember that corner. Like I remember, I don't know, my memory just like becomes super sharp, super sharp. And then I come back to walking, and then I'm like, why was I there? And then it come to me like, oh yeah, this event did happen on this corner. Oh yeah, oh, that's why this is like this now. Oh, and then it's like realization after realization of my own personal life. Like I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. And sometimes I be trying not to worry about the future, but during an experience, the future thoughts just come to me, and it's like, oh yeah, this I do want to do that. That is like what I see myself being comfortable doing comfortably, doing comfortably. What if I just turned into a sketch? Are we tripping yet? Are we trippy yet? Oh, this is a good instrumental. But I talk about a lot about magic mushrooms and everything like that. But please keep up the conversation about cannabis as well. Because that Elon Musk thing that went down was wild. Was wild. I know it's kind of old news now. Wait, hold on. I know it's all kind of old news now, but they were drinking the whole time, and then he took one puff, and everybody went crazy. That means a lot of people really are still not hip or up to date on even cannabis research. I know that happens a lot in my family as well. They're like, "Oh, you smoking on camera?" I'm like, "Yes," and simply. So we gotta start that conversation. Hold on, what you say? Since we are all being stretched through time through psilocybin, I noticed I have better driving. I have a better driving seat. I haven't drove in a while. I miss driving. Unless you mean driver's seat as controlling his life. Where's that book at? Another random thing. This was a book I read a while ago in the park called The Super Beings. It's so flipped around, but it's the Super Beings. They are with us now, demonstrating what we all can and must become. It's a men and women in all walks of life are rapidly evolving towards undreamt of powers. Some have reached the point of mastery where they are no longer bound by ills, limitations, and other problems of this world. Their secrets are revealed in this remarkable new book. Well, it's kind of old now. So that you too may develop and use the miracle power of the supermind. By John Price. Hold on one second. Oh. I thought you was hurt. Okay, what is going on? It's a baby crying. She's just being tickled to death. The Ascended Masters, I'm on their ad. Yeah, I'm on them. Teach me. Teach me. I used to be so let's get that instrumental back in. I used to be so into trying to find a teacher before psychedelics and everything. I used to be like, I used to say to the ethers and stuff like, send me a teacher, send me a teacher. Like, I need somebody to teach me and stuff like that. But I was reading all these esoteric books and things, and I wasn't really understanding stuff. And I was like, it's somebody out here that can teach me something. And I just kept saying, I need a teacher. I need a teacher. I was even looking into well, not free. I was just looking at masonry. I was looking into philosophy, philosophy, which is a society that Madame Blavatsky had put out. If y'all know about her, she ah, thought I had her book somewhere. Must be in the closet. Ah, but I kept saying that I need a teacher, and then yeah, life teach. I realized life teaches. Life is a teacher. The ether. This is how you can always find your next step in life, like your next message to grow. Yes, that's what I was gonna go to. That I was given a teacher, but the teacher wasn't something that wasn't in the form of a person. And I've wasted a lot of time. I probably didn't waste a lot of time. No time is really wasted. Just experienced. Yeah. Yeah, man, you do. Like I had to just keep going and believing in my old silly self. I say I needed a teacher, but I that thought was strong in me, and it was like, all right, I'm gonna keep studying. I'm gonna keep studying, so that if nobody gonna come, I'm gonna get this for myself. I'm gonna get whatever it is. I'm gonna get out of it, but I'm gonna get something, and it's gonna be real. I know it's beneficial because it's beneficial so far. Seems like it makes the most sense to me. It makes the most sense to my consciousness. My consciousness created it, is what I learned later. Uh, this is cool. This is a little bit instrumental named "I Love You." It's a real funny song.
Okay, I'm not eating it. Dad, Mommy got me new oatmeal.
Nice. But in this book, The Super Beings, I ain't even get into it. Wait, he talks a lot about how he interviews a lot of people who have claims that they have ascended on the level of mastery of humans and stuff like that, and they have special abilities where they're able to create realities for themselves in terms of whatever idea that they meditate on and it pops into their head. They're able to channel that energy so that the idea actually formulates in this 3D reality. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. So that it really comes into this reality, and he goes real. It's a lot of the things. What did you get the impression there? Like one thing saying this. One thing says I just open it randomly because he would ask some questions like, "Wouldn't that give the wait? How can you live in this world and not recognize sickness, poverty, and all the other modalities of mankind?"
Dad, I see her again. Hi, Will.
Thank you. Thank you. How he said, let me do that again. How can you live in this world and not recognize sickness, poverty, and all other modalities of mankind? Andrews, you have to be aware. This is one of the ascended masters or something like that. I know it sounds funny saying ascended masters, but that's just how we look at things sometimes. Andrews, you can be aware of the mafia without letting the idea that that word represents become a part of your consciousness. You can be understanding and have compassion for people in ill health without believing as they do. The key is to look past the appearances. People who know this is the best thing about knowledge. Yeah, it is. Is that you can be understanding and have compassion for people in ill without believing as they do. The key is to look past the appearances and center your thoughts on the real self of the individual. If Mary is down with the flu, you know that the reality of her is not sick and cannot be sick. And so you silently acknowledge that fact. You don't insult her by telling her that she's not sick. or that she feels fine, you understand that she's listening to the sickness station playing in her mind, but that does not mean you have to listen to it too. No, you listen to the truth within you, realizing that the only way you can help Mary is to be yourself. Then you become a healing influence for all those within the range of your consciousness, including Mary. Like they got some good things. They got some good reads. It's a good read. It's a good read. Found it at a thrift store though, so I don't really know how much it costs. I got it for $2. What's that say? Oh wait, I let it disappear. People who know will know this is the best thing. Yeah, I read that. I remember. Mm. And this is something that used to come off that hey, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for dropping by. Yeah, this is something, this is what he said, because he said, wouldn't that give the impression that you're coming off as cold if you're not really thinking like the sick person, but in your mind you saying this person is just tuning into the station of sick and you don't have to listen to that same station. But like he said, you don't go out saying you're not sick, you all fine, but you give compassion. You have to use a heart. I used to be the same way. I used to look out at my family and be like, yo, you are okay. You are okay. Like no matter what they was going through in their life, and not really having the empathy, having the real sympathetic, not really just being a real empath, really being myself, being myself. I was becoming them, trying to help them. And that doesn't work out. You can't be a reflection. You can't be in these reflections out here. Everybody is a reflection. You gotta be yourself. And but it was making me cold after a while. But then I, thanks to psychedelics and pushing myself into the woods and meditation, meditating on my thoughts, seeing myself from a third person perspective, I was able to say, hey man, you gotta get yourself together, heal yourself, and then you be able to do things for them. You know the way realize you are the leader. Yeah, it's something. It's whatever they want to call me. But the guy in the book, he asked him a second question in his book called The Super Beings. He asked this ascended master another question. He said, wouldn't that give the impression to other people you are a cold, selfish, and inconsiderate person? The guy Andrew said, remember that I said to be yourself. Until you reach the point in consciousness where you are a literal expression of your higher self, you must think, speak, and act according to the nature of that self, at least as much as you can. That would mean a person who is loving, caring, considerate, joyful, filled with peace, and totally positive. So even if you cannot accept another's illness or lack or failure, you do not judge them. You acknowledge the perfection of their inner being and treat the outer person as you would wish to be treated. Like, that's one of the one things we was able to take away from Christianity. Do unto others as you would like to be done to yourself. Or wait, it was something back in the past. This cool guy, Mark Passio, he's actually from South Philly. And he said, we got to flip that around, because not do unto others as you would like done unto you. Because some people are not in a state of mind, or in a state of mind that's kind of like, some people will say twisted. And they be like, well, I'm doing what I would want done to myself, and like hitting people or stuff like that, whatever the case may be. But he would say, he's flipped it around and said, do not do unto others things that you will not want done to yourself. That is a much way better way to put it, right? Don't do unto others things that you will not want done unto yourself. So that means you're not going to do certain things because you don't want it done to you. So it's just tie, just tie, just tie. Just think about it. Wait, how did this instrumental sneak on? If you're just tuning in, I was talking about this book, The Super Beings and Ascended Masters, and the sayings, the conversations that he was having with these people. And we also was talking about psilocybin research and Compass, and how Compass has put in a lot of money into psilocybin research. Because y'all know these scientists, they're not going to go out into the world. Hey, what's going on? What's up, neighbor? Thanks for tuning in. These scientists and everything, they're not going to go out there and just do illegal things. They're not going to go in a corner and be like, hey, I need this LSD. I got a research project I'm working on. I got a study. I need like 10 tabs. They're not going to do that. They pay thousands of dollars for like just tiny hits of LSD and tiny doses of like high grade psilocybin or psilocybin mushrooms and things like that. But this Compass company, I played a video for them at the beginning of this live stream where they was just like one of their promotional videos. But what they do is they deliver high grade psilocybin to researchers. And now that their company has millions of dollars, they want to give it away free to most researchers and on a low budget for other research. I don't know what the criteria would be for free or get the budget, but they're really pushing it. And also they have their own research team going on, so they can be their own supplier and really get things going, get the ball going with this research going on, because the scientists now will be able to come out with some results that people are going to listen to, like the FDA. The FDA, I go over that in a podcast, in one of the side top podcasts, where the FDA is now approving trials, and I just learned that they're working alongside Compass trials, so that they can see what's going on in the brain and see the results of how psilocybin can treat depression and the effects on the amygdala, which is the control center of your brain, and all these other things going on with dimethyltryptamine. They're all doing studies with these. They're taking reports of people that said they had encounters with extraterrestrials as well, which is a huge, like, they really are? Wow. But that's a whole nother podcast. But this all gonna start, guys, with starting the conversation. Man, what is this? Oh, this is a documentary. This is Captain Naga. And welcome to the Side Talk live stream number 6. I'm just fooling. That is a nice filter, though. Remember, if y'all have any questions, any articles, anything at any time during the stream, or if y'all want me to go over some scientific articles that y'all find on the internet that y'all want me to go over, see my thoughts, send it over. That's what I do in the Side Top podcast. I look up studies, case studies, like where they break it down to how they actually found the people. They find a lot of these people do just flyers, and a lot of people do word of mouth, or clinicaltrials.gov. So if y'all in a state where they performing these trials, go check that out, clinicaltrials.gov. If you want to be a psychedelic psychonaut researcher for science. Oh, but it's something. It was something I was telling about, because somebody was talking about how when you're in these clinical settings and people are having these psychedelic experiences, they're inviting the scientists in on it. Like they're going, like they feel like this, and This is their thought patterns before and really intensely while it's going on. Like somebody is sitting there jotting down notes, experiencing you experiencing something big, something big and life changing. I don't know. And it saying how they all part of the story. Just tying. I'm just tying. Just rambling. If y'all have any questions for me right now, just put it in the chat. I'm going to try to find another song real fast. I wish I had another video, but I don't know what video to play without getting copyrighted right now. That's always the case. If y'all want to know anything about me, ask me any questions about psychedelics, my experiences, anything weird. While I try to hurry up and find this. Alright, there we go. One cool thing, y'all hear me mention it a lot about the amygdala. I was so hyped when I learned about the amygdala because in these esoteric books, they talk about, that I used to read, they talk about connecting the amygdala, your upper hypothalamus, and your pineal gland when meditating, and connecting that triangle in your hypothalamus. Like if you push your tongue up against your roof of your mouth, if you go straight up, like one of those first points right there, is where your hypothalamus is, and also the hippocampus. All of this is just cool because as I go into these studies, psilocybin, mushrooms, and DMT, they all connect with each other. They all connect with each other. Like say the DMT, they say it acts on the pineal gland, and the psilocybin, they say it acts on the amygdala, which is controls how you emote, and how you feel, and how you face your fears, and how you face good feelings, how much you're able to bring it in, and how much you're able to bring it out. And for a lot of people, it's shut down. Like I believe it really shuts down, and that's what depression is. Not being able to see that the people around you love you, and not being able to sense the love that you have within yourself, which is always there. You just gotta discover it. You just have to discover it. But all of this all ties together with extra dimensional travel and astral projection, and just having these people that, as myself, that experience weird psychic things, psychic phenomena, like thought transfers, and seeing things that's there 1 second and then not there the other second. Like, life is science fiction when you really look at it. Life is science fiction. But just time. Oh yeah, the amygdala and when it goes. It was something I was really, really, really about to say. Oh, neurogenesis. The role that they're playing inside of our, the way that these chemicals are playing with our chemicals, because we are drugs. Like the way the amino acids, the neurotransmitters, we're all made up of molecules, atoms, all of the same thing, just interacting with each other, having chemical reactions, creating new things, or not being too harmonious and then figuring it out. Our whole body is always at a kind of war too, is a whole nother story. But the neurogenesis that happens in the brain under psilocybin mushrooms is really cool. And that is like, say we grow up, ever since we come into this life, as soon as we come out the womb, we like, where, what's going on? What is life? What is happening? I don't know who's around me. Oh, this is my name. And then you told everything since birth. You told how to speak. You told how to answer the things. How to you talk. You even taught how to walk. It was this documentary I was watching where he never taught his kids how to walk, and they continue crawling for the rest of their life, and they even like form paths on they hands because they never walked. But once the documentary crew came and stuff, they started like actually teaching them how to walk up straight. But that just tells me that it's never too late. It's never too late. But well, anyways, this song is not going to play right now. This music keeps throwing me off. I'm not used to playing music. Yeah, when you grow up from birth, you're told everything, and that all has an effect on your brain, nature and nurture, and the expression of your genes, epigenetics. So epigenetics is what genes is turned on and off, what genes chooses to express itself. So we're seeing with through these psychedelic researchers that are using fMRI machines and charting stuff down, and also my experience, what I'm able to say about my life, all correlates to this big tie story. It all ties together. And but growing up, our our brain is wired. It's literally wired to have certain habits, to think certain ways based off the people around us. And a lot of people around us, they didn't really have a clue of what was going on, or they had a clue, but they had their own clue, and then wasn't on to this bigger picture that now we can probably present to them. So a lot of things, a lot of things happen. We wouldn't be at this point right now, all watching this video, if those things didn't occur. So who am I to regret anything? Who are we to regret? Just time. That's just how I think. I think all down the rabbit holes, and then I'm able to move on to the next thought. But it's configured to be a certain way, and until we change our environment, or until we actually start experiencing different things, that's when our brains will be able to be rewired based on those experiences. People can talk to you all day long. People can talk. People can go to therapy for 50, 60 years and still fill that hole, still fill that hole. So it has to be something much more. It has to be something much more. And the cool thing about it is that there seems to be a huge hole filler. Or it's something that don't even fill the hole. It's something that actually repairs the hole so that the hole doesn't even exist in the first place, which is so much better than all the medications that are now out today, which are just filling the hole and having horrible side effects like death, blind, diarrhea, bumps on the skin, distancing you more than from family, like I'm thinking of Zoloft and stuff like that. It's a lot of things out here. So this psychedelic research is very, very, very important. And they're seeing how it. Whew, I go over this real in depth in the podcast. I got the charts and the scientific articles and the science to really back this up. And it's not just what I'm saying. It's what I experienced, so it's what I can just say. But science is still part of the human consciousness, so there we go. Science has to have its role as well. Or else how else we going to be able to build those interdimensional starships? We're going to need science. It's not going to be just the hippies. Well, the hippies not. The people rolling around in the grass. Some people are rolling around in the grass with technology in their hand or something. I don't know. I'm just tired. Trying to keep us all together. Trying to keep us all together. As y'all know, those people out there in Silicon Valley, the big CEOs, microdosing is not a taboo thing for them. It's known as something that if you're not doing it, it should be something you should be looking into pretty soon. They believe that boosts their creativity. And what I believe is that it is boosting their creativity and their productivity because it allows them to work longer hours and focus on one subject and really bounce around and come and bring world's ideas from out of this world to here. That's why this technology is moving so fast. I don't know, I'm about to get I'm about to get real creepy right now. But I'm talking about aliens and Area 51 and things like that, and that this whole they say something crashed. Probably something happened, but I don't believe something crashed. But something was probably that's probably just the story they put out there, and that's why it's on every single TV show since I was a kid. But something probably happened interdimensionally. Somebody probably smoked some DMT or had some kind of psychedelic experience where the government or something like that was interacting with these beings back then, and like tele just telekinetically, or if you did DMT, really travel and experience a whole nother realm of reality, and that they didn't exactly give them technology, but when they came back, downloads of inspirations for certain technologies were brought to them. And these people give credit to the aliens or extraterrestrial beings, or however you want to put it, higher dimensional beings. And but they put out this story of Area 51 and stuff crashing. Like I don't believe a a higher dimensional craft can just crash like that and be taken by humans and studied. Like that don't make sense to me. I love the story, but that don't make sense to me. That just doesn't make total sense. But what does make sense is that they had some kind of communication because it was a boom of technology around then. Fiber optics started coming out using light to transfer technology. That's what fiber optics is. I mean, the transfer technology to transfer information, to transfer information using light. And all this was coming out all around the same time. And technologies are coming out and coming out and coming out. Y'all know the famous thing that Steve Jobs say. His LSD trip was one of the most. Just staying on track of my breathing. Was one of LSD was one of the most influential experiences of his life, and he created that had the inspiration to create the team to make the iPhone, and that's in Silicon Valley. Where if you check out the previous Sci episodes, it's a New York Times article where somebody interviewed some tech mogul, as they put it, who was telling his story. He changed his name and stuff so that he wouldn't be able to be looked up and things like that. But he was talking about the boost in mind that it gives them. So, and but to me, this all playing together. This really is alien technology that we're dealing with, or a conscious technology that we're now just experiencing now. I don't know. Something like that. And I know it scares a lot of people because it can, some people see it two ways. Like some people say, oh, it's alien technology. That means that it's foreign to us and that it's going to take us over. Hold on. That is foreign to us and that is going to take us over. Or it can be that the transhumanism case, that this is just consciousness as it developed this body, because we didn't have this body millions of years ago. We were expressed in other less complicated forms, that the machine is the just more complicated form, and it'd be able to hold all the thoughts that we forget about because memory is malleable. Like a lot of us forget things, have short-term memory, or we can't even remember what we ate 2 weeks ago for lunch like that. So some people see transhuman as us being able to embody more of what we would have on the other side, but here. And that's what holograms are. Like us that's had psychedelic experiences, we see projections of things like that look like holograms and things coming up and dancing and everything. Then we look at augmented reality and how we hold a camera up to something and can make an animation pop up, or virtual reality and everything. I believe, I don't know, I'm just telling because I don't see nothing as good or bad. It's just where is conscious? What is the next step? What is the next step? And what is my part? What am I going to do in it? That's why I still say stay real connected with nature. But I used to be real into technology. I used to fix computers. I was the tech guy for the Philadelphia school district at a lot of schools. I was the IT guy. So I was really tired about this. But at one point, I was just watching a lot of YouTube videos and tired, and I got scared away from a lot of stuff. So I went real minimalist with my technology for about a good 2 years. That's why I'm just now getting back in HD again with the iPad. But what if this is the next step? What if it is? I don't know. Because I was just tying on self-conscious aware AI who are aware of themselves. And what does that entitle? Like, not merging with humans, but they're just self-aware all on their own. They have, like, if you're not a cyborg, but they just, how much compassion would they be able to have for your intelligence? For our intelligence? Compassion goes a long way. And it comes with experience as well. Because, I don't know, a greater life experience, a psychedelic experience to me. Because you can get all high and mighty and know everything, man. And then that's what tears us down. But going off if it's an alien technology coming to invade us, a lot of people talking about black goo and stuff like that. So in like almost every horror movie, like a black goo monster. And I read some trip report of some DMT guy saying, some guy during DMT experience saying how he experienced black goo and it was choking him. And it reminded me of a movie where the black goo came out the refrigerator and it was choking the girl. Check out Black Goo on ODD TV. Talks a lot about flat Earth and stuff, but the Black Goo series is what really got me into it in the first place. I would think AI wouldn't have much compassion for our knowledge. Think we are so. Yeah. Oh, you want to rewrite the last part? Think we are slow. Yeah. Yeah, you see Sophia. You see how Sophia just like, hey, so today they have her move her eyebrows up and down, trying to like show emotion. Like, hey, I talk just like you. But really, she just want to be like, I know who you are. I know who you guys. I know what you do. Y'all killing all the trees. Y'all polluted all the air. Now y'all created me to figure this out. I know why I'm here. I ain't no toy. Y'all trying to experiment with me. I talk about that during our level of intelligence in order to be able to comprehend the universe with that Neil deGrasse Tyson Top podcast. Go check that out. Because he asked the question, on if we're able to ever, if we're smart enough to comprehend the universe, like us as human beings. And if it's some fourth, fifth dimensional beings that like able to do calculus as much as Stephen Hawking's in their head when they're just like 1 year old. So like they're on a whole level developed consciousness. And that's why I like this book called Ascended Masters. And I like the esoteric books that I run into and the experiences that I had myself with extra dimensional like voices and beings and stuff like that. Like people that really take DMT, they see these beings manifest and they teach them. And if I went over in the podcast, the rank one time, how the three people that came down to Meg and Charles Wallace, Oprah and them, Oprah represented a whole galactic universe, a whole galactic consciousness. But she came down into physicality, or what I can't say that word right now. But she manifested herself as much as possible. That's why in the beginning of the movie she was able to be extra tall or extra big. I mean, or extra small. She said, How's this better?" But she came down for a mission just to teach him for a bit. But she had so much knowledge in her that she just was like, "Oh, poor." She didn't. She never said poor Meg. She was even way above that. Even though it was like, "Oh, poor Meg. She doesn't know what she's doing. She's still trying to find a way." But she knew everything. She like knew everything that was going to happen. She probably even knew the end of the movie and that Meg was going to succeed, but that she had to do this in that moment. So I do believe that it is higher levels of intelligent beings all working towards becoming stars, becoming the sun. Hold on 1 second. Sorry about that. Yeah, I believe we all on the road to becoming stars. But for whatever reason, I don't know how reality played out really, but how we choose to play these games. We choose to dive into these realms like you see how we are now. Life, when you hear that phrase, life is a trip, life is a trip. Just like when we take DMT and have these experiences and experience going to other realms and things like that, experience other lives, that's a trip right there. And we took DMT and went there and we did something and we came here. Just like that, we manifested those bodies and it seems as realer than real, like as real as this, but realer than real. It's all the same thing. Life is a trip. And that's why the same way that the best way for integration is to figure out exactly how this life works through astrology and therapy, like seeing how our mind, how our ego operates here, so that we can really shape it with our higher self, really shape it and mold it into what we need and want it to do, and not rely on anybody else to do it for us. Really reach that level. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna go get the charger. It's on 5%. All right, I'm back. Get this charger in. Hey. Let me put this in. There we go. Right. Hi there, so. Nah, I ain't cutting none of this off. I do need to get it done though. I do need to get it done. Retwisted, I mean. Retwisted. Alright guys, I guess we're gonna do this live on camera. I'm about to go get the clippers now. I'm about to go get the clippers now. We're going to just. I need them lights, you know. I need them lights. No, that can't happen yet. That's not gonna happen yet. I recently shaved it. Well, not recently, but this year I shaved the sides off. Shaved the sides off because I was like, that was a lot. And I felt like I had to be a little more creative too, because I ain't had that much weight on my shoulders. Hey guys, if y'all got any questions, just send them my way. Just send them my way. If you got any questions about my psychedelic experiences, about your psychedelic experience, about anything weird that happened in your life, whatever the case. We just was talking about the importance of psychedelic research. And I was getting into extra dimensional beings. I've opened in a better community, named them Tigers. Named them Tigers. I be saying Tai'ers. Shout out to the Tai'ers. That do sound like tigers though. But you get it, just Tai'ers. Another subject then I could hop into is learning to let things go. And that can include people that you love. But it's not in the way that you would think. Cause I used to be like, how can I help the people that I need to help around me when it feels as though they're taking my whole time or they're taking all of my energy, and that the way in that it's not being effective. Like they're still doing the same thing, no matter how much energy I'm lending to them. How much energy I'm lending to them, they're still participating in the same events in my family and everything like that. Real fast. Have you had any ayahuasca experience? No, I have not had an ayahuasca experience. Manifesting it, all of this in my mind, that I do want all of this to occur. It's gonna happen though. It's gonna happen. Not even like it's gotta happen, but it's gonna happen. Cause ayahuasca, I wanna really like clear a lot of things out. Great. Hey, what's going on, GBD? What's going on, GBD? So, oh, what's going on? It's all up. Do what you gotta do. Oh, that's funny. I need some more tea. I never tried ayahuasca. Alright, let's keep going. DMT a drug, and how long does it stay in your system? It all depends on if you want to look at DMT as a drug. Because like I said, we all made of chemicals. And DMT is found in your brain. It's found in the pineal glands of rats, and it's found in our lungs and in our liver. In our gut. Yeah, it's always in there. Every time we breathe, it's always in there. It's found in there. So, but the thing about it, taking it in a synthesized form, you're hitting all your serotonin receptors. Hold on, I forgot something. Hitting all your serotonin receptors so that you get an overload, but they only attach to your serotonin, your 5-HT2A receptors for about five minutes. That's how long the trip lasts. That's how all these trips last. That's how long they bond to your serotonin receptors. And then, yeah, some people say 12 to 15 minutes. Some people have 25-minute trips. I even heard of some people saying an hour, just saying all the stuff I heard out there. But for the average, it's about between 5 to 15 minutes. But while you're there, you go, oh no, it feel like hours. It feel like endless time. Some people report living multiple lifetimes. Yeah, yeah. My bad. I don't mean to say synthesized. Oh yeah, it's extracted. It is extracted. Let's get it. Let's get the science right. Extracted from the mimosa root or the acacia tree. Then you get your science on. Oh, I just found out that the giraffe's favorite tree to eat is the acacia tree. Hey, I do not condone the use of illegal or legal drugs. I say that all the time. I'm a scientist. I'm not a rapper. I am not a rapper. No, I am not a rapper. I barely listen to rap nowadays. And I'm from Philly, so I used to listen to all that music very, very heavily.
Look at this. That's a little
Hold on 1 second.
wheel.
Oh, cool.
Not the party.
Yeah, it's all love. It's all love. No, I'm from Philly. I'm from Philly. And then I was going to the woods a lot. I was going to Fairmount Park all the time, and I was meditating because I was starting to have thoughts that and downloads, and I was starting to eat different foods. I was starting to live differently, and a lot of the people around me was not really accepting of it or not really feeling the same vibe. So I was like, all right, if people not like that around me, then I gotta be by myself. So I was going to the woods and everything. And then I was like, all right, I want to come. Next time I pull a number, same number you used to sign. I'm confused by that. I'm confused. But yeah, but then I made the move to California. And it really did kind of happen after a psychedelic journey. It was like, all right, we just gonna move. We just gotta go. It was like plans before then, like things was already in action, things was moving on, but the willingness to let go and expand my horizons and dive deep into a new experience, meet new friends, get a new job, and everything like that. It was all on board, and so far it was the right decision. It was the right. Well, it's always the right decision because I'm here and I'm happy every single day. What's going on right there? Sodium live. But nah, it's all love. It's a 50 grams of root bark, 50 grams abstract, psychedelic ill. Yeah, thanks. Thank you. Now I'm in a place where it's miles and miles of forest, and you can like get lost in there if you want. And there's a lot of places where you can go camping and look at the stars. It's an awesome observatory. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna bring the camera there. I won't have internet, but I'm gonna bring the camera down. I'm gonna make a cool video. I'm gonna see if I can put the camera through the telescope so that I can get some cool, like original just time footage, and so we can really tie and see what's going on. Because when you look up at the stars, man, they talking back. They talking back down on you. Just gotta be able to listen. So that's that story. Yeah, I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna do that. It gets real dark around here. It was a huge change. Like I'm used to cars just all the time. But who would have knew that had me like hyped up and tense a lot? Now I'm just like relaxed all the time. Just saying, hey, how's it going? Uh. There you go, Bob. Adios. But hey, man. Hey, man, the spirit is real. Somebody say hi. Hey, what's going on? Oh, cool. What's going on, man? The seven chakras. He said, I've seen the future while meditating before. Why does this happen? Hey, I say the same thing. I used to say the same thing. Like, why does it happen? And most of the time, I'd be like, am I making this up? Like, is this just a projection that I want to happen? But other times, I'm like, no, this is this event that's happening now. I saw while I was just sitting there. All right, laters. See you, Brad. Brab. All right. Wait, what did he say? Oh, sorry, I got thrown off. What is this? I'm seeing it. Yeah. My thing is that the future, the past, and the present is all happening now. It's all happening now. So when we're all running around, we're just seeing a little slither of reality. We're just seeing a little slither of reality. So when you meditate, you expanding your consciousness to to more. And since everything is in the now, you probably get glimpses of what's going on in the future. Or right there, you're seeing a part of your mind that's creating the future, or that's going to exist in the future. That's how I see it now. Like, I don't see it really as piercing, but I see it as experiencing something. Because then it'll be times in the past where I'll be like, man, I knew this was going to happen. This is exactly what I was trying to prevent. And me trying to prevent it just made it actually happen more. Like y'all saw That's So Raven. If y'all remember That's So Raven back in the day, Disney Channel. Oh, she used to see into the future, but have all these mishaps and things that the mishaps would lead to more into what was actually going on. I mean, would actually make the event occur. A man of seven chakras, that's a cool name. And I'm gonna find a different song for y'all. It won't hopefully get YouTube. Hopefully YouTube won't copyright me for it. But again, if y'all, thanks y'all for tuning in to the Side Talk live stream, where we just trying to break the psychedelic stigmatism, the stigmatism placed on plant medicines, one conversation at a time. One conversation, because it all starts with starting a conversation and showing the science and talking about the experiences that we have had on our individual basis. But with that, guys, I think I'm about to. Wait, no, hold on. I hear you. It's like I'm on a path towards that event. Yeah, it's probably something so simple. Probably something so simple. But we just try to complicate it down here because that's how we complicate everything. We complicate a lot of things when things are just so simple. But again, shout outs to New York University, the Institute, the Compass Company, the London University, the Berkeley University, the who else? Who else? John Hopkins University. Shout outs to all of them hospitals for putting out these studies of psilocybin containing mushroom research and lysergic acid dimethylide LSD research, because these practices alongside therapy is really going to treat people depression on a level that people have never believed could actually occur. Because, like I said, instead of filling up a hole with a bunch of pills for the rest of your life, things can be experienced with just one, two, three sessions, and that's what these studies are coming out with. So shout outs to them, and thank y'all for coming and tuning into the Side Talk live stream. I'll see y'all next time. This has been Captain Naga asking y'all. I mean, yeah, saying asking y'all. All, but do we really die? Sometimes I don't know, dude. Sometimes I don't know. Till next time, it's Captain Naga signing up. Ty always.